today's project is going to be one of these cute little tea light holders. They just come in 2 bits. Can you see that? And that. You can make them so that they're all stuck together in one go as well if you want to, but I quite like them in 2 bits. They look pretty cute once they're lit. I'll just show you now, and they're really easy to make. They're quite an easy and effective thing to make. Okay, there you go. There's your lit tea light. Okay. So what we're going to do now is I'll just show you a few tools that you might want to use, and then we'll get going to the interesting bit. So I've got a template here. This is an angular one, but you can actually just make it straight if you want, and another template for a circle, but of course you can use a cutter if you've got any baking cutters. I've got a potter's knife, I've got a rib for smoothing clay, a paintbrush, a needle tool. I've got some little cutters that I've got, but you can actually just cut out of your clay if you wanted to. I've got a sponge and some water, and I've got my trusty slip bowl. And as I mentioned before, slip is just the clay body that you're using mixed with water. So here I am, I've got my clay. Now I rolled this out a couple of hours ago, and I've just left it on the wooden board, and it's just firmed up a little bit, so it's not leather hard, but it's just a bit firmer than it would be, and it's a lot easier to work with. I'm just going to give it a quick once over with my rib just to make sure it's nice and smooth. And something I forgot to show you before was I'm going to add some relief pattern to it using some, I've got a selection of nice doilies here. What a waste to put them into the clay. But that's what I'm going to use. So I don't know, I think I'll go with this one because it's kind of thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll some of this onto my clay first, and then we'll put our template on top of this, and that'll stop. If you cut it out first and then you roll, you run the risk of distorting your shape, and it depends how much you mind distorting your shape. So I've got my rolling pin here, but you don't necessarily need one of those. You can just press it in with your hand. Okay. I suppose I should have mentioned that you needed a rolling pin before. So right, there we go. So okay, so we've got some nice pattern on the clay. I'll see if I can lift it up and show you. There you go. Okay, so we'll cut the first bit out. So here I've got it. I've actually measured it out in case you wanted to use the same sort of thing. And I'm going to just put it flat on there, and with my needle tool I'm just going to gently make a first kind of pass at the outline, just really gently. So you're not actually cutting, you're kind of just drawing around your shape at the moment. And then I'm going to go over again, but I'm going to press a little bit harder. And again, and I'm almost through I think, but we will go again. And this, if you do it this way, it just gives you better control, stops your clay dragging, and if you make a mistake, you can correct it. So here's our first bit of clay all cut out. So I'm just going to put that to one side a minute, and we'll do the base. Now I've measured these out to a certain size, however you can do them whatever size you want as long as it'll fit the candle you want it to fit. So I'm going to do this again. And here's my base. I'm going to tidy it up first, but I'll show you that you can actually just press in with your fingers with your... I'm just using a very lightly damp sponge. There's not an awful lot of water on it at all here. Just to round it off a little bit. Okay. Ooh, it's stuck on the bottom. Okay, so this one looks like a likely sort of thing. So if you didn't want to, say you wanted to make lots of these, or you just wanted to make different ones and you didn't know what you would, I'm just going to do my last little heart and I'll show you what I've done. So whenever you stick clay to clay, what you need to do is to roughen and add slip. The slip that I mentioned earlier, that's like your glue. So I'm just roughening this. If you don't do this, the likelihood of things dropping off increases, especially in the drying process. So I've really roughened it. And I'm going to just roughen a little patch. I'm going to put the heart on here. And I'm going to get my little paintbrush and put a blob of slip on each. And there goes my heart on there. Okay. And then just... again, with the sharp edge thing, just use your paintbrush and a little bit of slip or water, depending on... I'm just using this as it is because I've got slip on it, but you could just put a bit of water and just go around the edge. There you go. Okay, so here we are. See? So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to stand it up. This is the nerve-wracking bit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just see where I want it. And I'm thinking that about there is good. And if you're worried about keeping it round, you can always use a cup or something about the right size. So I'm just going to test it on here. Yeah, I think we're good at that. Put him out of the way again. And again, we're going to have to roughen and apply slip onto here. Okay, so I'm just going to... you see that? I'm just making a little line here. And here, and then I know where I am for roughening up. So this is one side, so I'm just going to quickly do that. Give it a bit of a roughen. Same on this side, and I can just see my line. Okay, you can go mad and do it a little bit more than me if you want to. So, and then again, slip where you have done your roughening. Okay, now this is actually softened up. Even with just this little bit of modelling, it does soften up. So the thing to do is to get a good, gently, don't squeeze so you can see your fingertips, just a gentle kind of thing. Squeeze in, just so you've got a really good join there. Okay, for this one, I think it's quite nice. I quite like a little curl, but you know, you might change your mind, and I'm literally just going around my finger there, and a little bit there maybe. Okay, and I'm going to stand him on here. Now, if you were going to stick to this, you would roughen the bottom of there. Put, the way I do it, and I'm sure there's better ways to do it, but I would roughen the bottom of there, put some slip on it, sit it on there, whip it up quickly. I'd be able to see where my slip was, and I would then roughen that bit. But there we go. It's done, and it can sit there now and dry until it's completely dry and there's no moisture left in it, and then it goes in the kiln. But there we go. I think I'm gonna put a little tea light in it now for you and show you what it looks like. So this one's, see how much bigger that one is than that one. But I wanted to make a bigger one so you could see what I was doing. But you, as I say, can make it as you want it. Right, there we go. I'm gonna go mad and put it on here. Okay. Children, do not do this. Get a grown-up to do it for you. There you go. How pretty is that? And You know, you can make these for Christmas. They make a cracking present for a friend or family member. You know, Christmas, Easter, you name it. You can make one for it. Birthday, you can put names on. You can do whatever you want. As I've said before in my videos, you're limited by your imagination, and that's it. So there we go. I'm going to put that to dry, and at some point I'll put it up on the website so you'll be able to see what it looks like finished. I'm going to glaze this. I've used firing clay for this, so this is ES130 earthstone. It's a low fire clay. It fires white, so although it's this buff grey colour, it'll fire white, so it takes the colour really well. But you could make this with air dry clay and then just paint it with PVA. That's it, we're done. Okay, take care. See you next time. Bye.